Okay, here we go with another review. Today, we've got the Altec Lansing Mini H2O in their seafoam green color. So this thing was completely an impulse buy for me. Saw it at Walmart sitting on the shelf, thought, you know what, I need a little tiny speaker to take around. Now I have small hands. There it is compared to my hand. I mean, the thing is pretty little, and I was impressed for a $30 mini Bluetooth speaker. I mean, I really didn't expect it to, number one, hold up the way that it does, and number two, put out the sound quality that it does. Now, given there are speakers, even from Altec's own line, that sound way better than this one, but for $30 and it being a waterproof speaker, not water resistant, waterproof, it does put out relatively decent sound. It's pretty lacking in bass tones, but you know, if you're just out floating down the river or something and you take this with you, it's going to do everything you need it to do. I mean, let's face it, if you're buying a $30 Walmart speaker, you're not looking for super great sound quality out of it. So it's got three buttons here on the top. You have power, volume down, and volume up. So the power button you hold in to turn it on, and give it a one quick press will actually pause your music or video or whatever you're watching or listening to. Volume down, if you hold it in, it's like your back button, so it'll restart the song, and if it restarts the song and you hold it in again, it will go back a song. And your volume up button is pretty much just the reverse of the volume down button. Hold it in to skip forward. So it's got a little flap down here, DC in and auxiliary in, and it does have this little compartment down here where that's the charging port. It's micro USB, so you know it's pretty common, doesn't take some proprietary charger or anything. And then it's got an auxiliary port for something that doesn't have Bluetooth on it. And then it's got this real nice rubber flap that goes back in there to seal the water out. So when I got this, I decided I needed to test it. Took it and put it in the shower, held it directly in the water, truthfully expecting the thing to blow up. You know, I expected to put it in the water, get a few little crackles out of it, and then it was done. But that was not the case. I have since thrown away the packaging for this, so I don't remember if they claim that this one is shock-proof or not. I think it's shock resistant because this is all a rubberized coating on here. So even if you do have it in the water, your wet hands, you can still get a pretty good grip on it because it's got that coating on it. It's also got a little loop right here that you can put a lanyard or something through to hang it off of a backpack, or you know, secure it to a raft or something while you're floating in the water. Put it in your kayak and put it on the clip it on there so that you don't lose it. Now I will demonstrate here in a minute how you can put it in the water and show that it will work in the water. Like I said, bass tones, it's kind of lacking, but I mean, it does get half decent sound quality. I have noticed that once in a while, and a lot of you will know what I'm talking about, once in a while this thing will, it'll get that business where it kind of lags behind if you're watching a YouTube video, so your sound will fall behind, and your video will still be talking, and then you'll hear the sound play afterwards. I have noticed it do that a couple of times, but it was always very short, and it corrected itself at least within 30 seconds. The battery life on this thing, I don't remember what they claim the battery life is. I want to think they say that it's 4 hours of continuous play. I want to think they say that this is 4 hours. But I have a terrible habit of listening to music or podcasts or something while going to sleep, and I will leave this thing unplugged on my dresser, connect it to my cell phone, and just play music or podcasts or whatever, and it'll play all night long. And I'll wake up in the morning and this thing will still be playing. Now it's got a little light in here that you'll see when I turn it on that indicates whether it's number one connected, it's the battery is going low, or if it's plugged in and connected. So if you hold in the power button here, it'll make an alert, and it'll say, powering on, welcome to Altec Lansing. I could really do without that. I mean, it's got the big Altec Lansing logo plastered on the front of it there. It's also got it kind of inlaid on the rubber coating back here. So, I mean, okay, we get it. It's Altec Lansing. It's not a big deal, but it's kind of annoying because depending on what you had the volume set at the last time that you had this speaker on, it can play it kind of loud, and it is pretty annoying. So here we go. We'll hold in the button and turn it on.
Powering on. Welcome to Altec Lansing.
Okay, and then that beep after the alert just means that it has connected to my cell phone, which I have sitting right here. And then as the light is blinking, that also means that it's connected. If the light is flashing very rapidly instead of a steady pulse like this, that means that it's searching for Bluetooth. I have never had an issue connecting to this. It's always connected right up as soon as I turn this bad boy on. Now, I have noticed that if you turn the speaker on and you don't for some reason have Bluetooth turned on your cell phone or your iPad or your whatever, it won't connect. This will not seek out a device that has already been paired with it. It has to be, the device you're trying to connect to has to already be Bluetooth enabled for this little guy to find it. Now, pairing someone else's device with your speaker is fairly simple. You could just use the auxiliary port on the bottom, but let's say you're lending it to someone, they need to use it. Just take your device that you have connected to it, so in this case I'll use the example of a cell phone. Disconnect your cell phone from it, so just turn the Bluetooth off on your cell phone, and then this will go into pairing mode, and the light will start flashing very rapidly. So then all the other person has to do is go into their Bluetooth settings, find the available device. It's called H2O Mini, is the default, and I really don't think there's any way to change that, and then connect to it. And I mean, it has never failed to connect with anything. I've tried Android phones, I've tried the iPods with Bluetooth, I've tried, I have an iPhone, I have an iPad. It will connect to a PlayStation 4, but the PlayStation 4 does not support Bluetooth speakers, so it'll connect, but it won't play anything. So this is going to be absolutely awful sound quality, being as it's playing through this over a Bluetooth connection, and then it's being picked up on my little Nikon here. But we'll give it a shot anyway. I'll play it. Let me make sure the volume is not the entire way up. It is not. So Just give her a shot here. So you can hear it's not too bad. So if you, like I said, if you press in the power button, that will pause your music. So that's a really nice feature, because what I'll do is I'll connect it to my phone. I'll take my phone and set it on the counter here somewhere, and then once it's on the counter, I'll take the speaker, stick it in my back pocket, just so I don't have to have it super loud and like annoying my downstairs neighbors or anything. And I'll just carry the speaker around my house. Now my house is probably 2,500 square feet. It's relatively large floor plan. It's single floor. I'm on the 3rd floor, top floor of this building. So I can't speak to whether it'll go through multiple floors or not, but it will definitely carry throughout a 2,500 square foot floor plan, flat level. It doesn't disconnect unless I am truthfully on the far opposite corners of the house. That is the only time that it will disconnect. And when I say far corners, I mean I had my phone in the farthest corner of my bedroom, which is in, like, let's say this corner, and I had to stick this speaker in the corner of the living room, clear on the other edge of the house. So I mean it's got a pretty good range on it. Okay, so we'll come back here and I'll show it to you in water. Alright, now we're over here at the good old kitchen sink that I have full of that much water from my thumb down. So enough to stick this bad boy in. So what I will do is I will start the music playing and then submerge it in water. So here we go. And turn it up a little bit. So that's one of the design features, is this bad boy floats. It's designed to float so that it doesn't sink to the bottom of the river or pool and then you lose it. So you can actually hear it relatively well in the water. It's awfully quiet. I'm sure you can probably barely hear it. But here it actually improves the bass tones when sticking it in the water. So it does sound a little funny when you pull it out because it's got water on the speakers, so just give it a little shake. And there the sound quality is right back to before you even stuffed it in the water. Alright, let me dry this bad boy off just so that I don't get my kitchen island all wet, and then I'll meet you back.